Okay, well, we're live on our intro Hangout for the Google Plus community for the CMALT cMOOC for 2018. It's great to see a whole lot of people here joining from Nelson, where it's probably a lot sunnier than it is here in Auckland. Still waiting for a few more people to join, hopefully, but we're going to get underway anyway, so we may have some people just watching or even watching this later. So this is going to get archived. So I'm Tom Cochrane. I'm an academic advisor here at the Centre for Learning and Teaching in Auckland University of Technology. And I met quite a few of you down there in Nelson last year when I was down there for a couple of months and having a sabbatical down there. So it's great to have you guys on board. But it might be great if you just went around and sort of introduced yourselves for those people who don't know you, and just give us a little bit of a info about yourself. Perhaps what interests you in this concept of cMALT accreditation or joining in the cMOOC. It'd be great to find out who we have here.
Okay, we just get introduced
Can we start it? Okay.
Yeah, let's start with Shingai.
I'm Shingai. I'm a learning designer here down in Nelson. The thing that interests me most in the cMOOC is just getting to collaborate with other people around the new teaching technologies and innovative teaching and learning practices, and learning from other people while I also improve my own. So that's me.
Hi, I'm Ila. I am an educational developer. So I work with learning designers like Shingai to develop courses. So I'm hoping to, like Shingai, I'm hoping to learn how best to, or how to improve my practice really. Due to the change of delivery. So hoping to learn heaps from other people. Yeah. That's me.
I'm Ronita, and I'm an educational developer as well. And I really want to find ways to keep in touch with communities of person, like to keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening in terms of learning technology. So that's what I'm really interested in.
Cool.
Kia ora. My name's Chip. So I'm a Te Reo Māori tutor here at MIT. Paul invited me yesterday, so I'm a little bit like what he got me into, but I'm always interested in the best way forward for our students, learning new bits and pieces and learning design and all of that sort of stuff. So just keen to learn some new stuff. So,
hi, Tom. So I'm Paul Devine, and I look after the especially our LMS and our other learning technologies here at NMIT. And I'm kind of interested in the cMOOC process. I'm interested in the tools, Twitter and WordPress, that kind of thing, just to build my profile a little bit. I'm interested in the communities of practice, and from when we did the cMOOC last year, it's just really good to make those other connections across other institutes and things. It was always interesting to see that some problems are common to man, and the problems we have here, it's interesting to see how other people deal with them elsewhere. So I really enjoyed the cMOOC last time, and so this is kind of like a bus that's coming past again, so I want to get on it and see how far I can go this time.
Great.
G'day, Tom. Once again, I'm Shaw James. I tutor for applied business at NMIT. My background is actually management. I've been in education for 5 years now, but I've really enjoyed tutoring face-to-face, but I also tutor courses fully online, and I've developed them as well. So I'm really interested in seeing what we can do in terms of connectivity and learning right across the world, massive online sounds good to me, so long as it's we can use it to the benefit of all learners. So I'm really here to learn, and I represent an office of four tutors, and they couldn't be here, so I am actually representing a small community as well. So I'll report back.
Hi, I'm Nikki, and I am an ed developer. It's my last day as an ed developer because from Monday I'm a learning designer. So I'm just like everyone else. I'm just interested in expanding my knowledge, skills, and network in terms of online learning and better support tutors and course development.
Hey, well, welcome and great to have you all on board. Looks like we've got Vanessa's joined the Hangout as well.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Where are you joining us from?
I'm from Macquarie University. I'm a learning advisor, and although my work's not, the main focus of my work is not ed tech or learning designing, it's becoming a larger and larger part of the work that I do, which is working online, supporting students online, developing digital pedagogies and hybrid pedagogies to support students.
Great. And great to have you on board. I'm not sure if I've actually met you face-to-face before, Vanessa, but
no,
welcome to the Hangout.
I've sat up the back at Asolite, so I've seen you.
Right. So I guess the point of today is just, welcome. If people have got questions, what is this about, and what are we going to be doing, and what are the requirements? That are kind of that's kind of what the idea of today is. So yeah, if you have any questions, just fire away. And I thought I could just give you a brief outline of what we're intending to cover and the tools that we're going to use. So Vanessa, you kind of just missed the tail end of the team from Nelson Marlborough Institute of Technology, which is way down in Nelson, in the top of the South Island. I don't know if you know New Zealand geography very well. And Macquarie's Sydney, isn't it?
That's right, yes.
So great to have an Australian representative. Which is
Here we are, we're international now.
Yeah. So we've got a fair bit of interest from Coventry University as well, right over in the UK, and we had a hangout which was supposed to be with them last night, but they got tied up, and so it was just a couple of us from New Zealand. But hopefully they'll get on board with us next week. And then we've got several groups around New Zealand. Doesn't look like they've managed to make it here today. It does say we've got one viewer, so I don't know who that is or where they're from, but one person is viewing us live as well. And then people can get to watch this hangout afterwards, archived on YouTube. So I'll put the link into the community. So let me just give you a brief overview. I'm just going to share my screen, and then we can just check out some of the stuff that we're doing. Present to everyone. Okay. So if I just jump to the Google Plus community, we're using a variety of tools to sort of facilitate this, I suppose, global, international, national community of practice, really. And the Google Plus community is kind of the discussion forum. It's where everyone can contribute and share, and we'll put notifications there. So you can see I've put the link to the cMOOC there. And we're trying to get everyone to join this community because it's going to be, the core of what we're doing. So you can see a few of the people there. I've just pulled up some of the members. So the types of things that we're doing, we've created the WordPress hub. I'll show you that shortly. And the WordPress hub is kind of where the links and the weekly activities are hosted, and the ideas behind the activities each week really is just a discussion trigger. It's really about people sharing their experiences and sharing their ideas around curriculum design, etc., that we're after, not providing you a whole lot of content to read. We have what we call a project bank, which is each week as we look at a different part of a CMALT portfolio, we'll probably have some sort of activity that would be great for people to share their ideas on the project bank and build up kind of like this database of really good teaching and learning ideas and resources. And so that's basically just a link to an example of something that you want to share. We're using the hashtag #CMALT for Twitter. So if you're wanting to follow along or share anything that's relevant to the cMOOC, use the hashtag, and any other social media that you use. So also using that for our YouTube playlist, etc. We're going to invite everyone who wants to put themselves onto a Google map so we can see where you are. It should be particularly good for people around the other side of the world to get a sense of the geography and where people are from. And we've got a couple of exercises that we do along the way, like visitor and resident maps and ecologies of resources. So we've got some hashtags for that as well. So this is the WordPress site. And, if you've got any questions, just jump in, and rather than me just talking the whole way. But this is cMOOC.wordpress.com. And for those of you who signed up, you've probably seen this already. So there's a sign up form there, page, which just gives us some tools to be able to communicate. So basically your name, an email address, and we recommend Gmail if you don't want to fill up your institutional private mailbox with all the notifications. A blog, and it could be any blog. Once again, we recommend WordPress. We think it's a really good tool. In fact, the stats came out, I think, a week or two ago that WordPress now is behind almost a third of all websites online. Twitter. Twitter's a great tool for building community, professional networks, and so giving us your Twitter username and signing up for Google Plus, because that's the community that we're going to be using. So each week, if you look under the activities, we've broken it up into 7 weeks, and really what we want to do each week is just look at what are the key elements of a CMALT portfolio. And for those of you who haven't heard of CMALT, CMALT is the certified member of the Association for Learning Technology, which came out of the UK. It's based on the outcomes of the Daring report, which identified some professional standards that higher educationists should be able to demonstrate. And so really it's about providing experience and reflection on your teaching and learning experience and capability, and basically getting peer accredited to say that you do know what you're doing as far as being a teacher of higher education goes. So these are the core elements of the CMALT portfolio as a contextual statement, looking at wider issues. Do you know how to design an assessment? And wider context is things like what are some of the maybe government policy issues or cultural issues that really define your particular context. Collaboration, communication, which is quite a key area, because often we teach as individuals rather than in teams, and so trying to learn from each other is a really core skill. Choosing a specialization, so that's one of the things that is unique to the CMALT portfolios. What is something that you do that's unique to you, to your practice, that makes you stand out, that makes you a little bit different? And then finally, where do you plan to head from here? And then we also look at some other ideas for your portfolio. So we also have a project bank. So this is linked off the WordPress site, and this is each week as we go over one of those areas, trying to get people to share an example of one of those, and we're trying to build up this database. So you can see we've got a few last year, and the activity kind of started off really, quite a lot, and then sort of dropped off a little bit as we went along. So we're hoping to fill up some of those spaces in the later parts of the project bank, and get Ronita to share her really cool stuff and all those sort of things. We also have a blog roll. So when you give us your blog address, we curate it here on this page so you can see what everyone else is reflecting on and give them feedback if you want to. So that's kind of the lightning overview and the idea of it. And I guess the key idea really is that it's not about being massive as such. It's really about connecting people. So the idea behind a cMOOC is to differentiate it from what's called an cMOOC, which is basically an online course that you pay to get access to the notes and then get a certificate at the end or whatever. The idea of a cMOOC is it's about connecting people, connecting ideas, collaborating, sharing ideas, not about content. So the C stands for connecting rather than content. And the MOOC, well, M is for massive. And I think we're not really interested in massive. We're about connecting small groups of people. Open and online. Well, it is open. It's online, but it's not really a course. So we kind of use the idea of cMOOC as a hook. It's not a classic MOOC as such. So that's the lightning overview. Are there any questions from anyone? Why am I here?
What have I got into?
I had that question and you pretty much answered it. So
hope that was a positive answer then.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tom, I just a comment really. This connectivity and a community, if you like, of educators is a fantastic concept, but it relies, of course, to keep it alive on contributions, valuable contributions to the community, contributions that people can use and should be using, and so I note with interest that you say that contribution sloped off a bit, and it does require quite a lot of energy from the contributors. So what do you see as really being the payback for those who contribute? Because it's really about doing it almost in our spare time if we've got busy day jobs in a way.
Yeah. So I guess the benefits that I see is it's for the participants is building up a portfolio of evidence of engaging with educational technology. So for a lot of people, they may have a lot of experience, but they haven't collated or curated that. And so by going across these 7 weeks and specifically doing that with the goal of providing a trail of evidence, it gives you something you can put into a portfolio and say, here, click this link, here's evidence of me reflecting on my teaching practice. And maybe here's a video of me teaching in class, which perhaps you've never done before, or some other sort of activity that you might think of as you go along. So I know for myself, I've been involved in learning technology for 15 years as an academic advisor, and before that using it myself as an educator. So I had all these projects everywhere, and by putting together a CMALT portfolio was an opportunity to bring all that into one place and showcase what I've done and be able to provide that evidence. And then, of course, if you do put together a portfolio and set it off for accreditation, that's external to what we're doing. We're just providing you with a support community to be able to do that and a guideline. Then you can take that accreditation and put it towards your progression. Tick the box of I've done some professional development this year, and here's the proof. And that you've been internationally peer reviewed in that process. So you can put those as post-numeral on your CV, on your email, etc. So, including your master's degree, bachelor's degree, or whatever, you can also put CMALT, that you're a certified member. And it's relatively significant because this has been going for about 13 years. And over that period of time, there's about 400 accredited CMALT holders. You may have heard of the Higher Education Academy, which has been going the same length of time. It's mapped to the same professional standards framework in the UK. There's over 85,000 fellows of the HEA now. So if you're wanting to sort of stand out from the crowd a bit, then you might want to be one of 400 rather than one of 85,000 and demonstrate that you have skills that not many people do, which is that ability to critically engage, reflect, and integrate educational technology into teaching and learning. So apart from becoming part of hopefully an international global community that's a bit of fun and getting to know people and getting to meet people, hopefully there's something that you can actually get out of that, and that's that CMALT accreditation.
Right.
Does kind of answer the question?
Yeah, very much so. Thank you.
The other thing I think that to get out of this is just working with other people. So when I was down in Nelson, working with Paul, working with Doug, and quite a few people in the room there, but be able to actually establish collaborative projects, you know, interinstitutional, that are continuing. So I've been working on a project with Doug around redesigning their curriculum, and we presented at a symposium we ran in February. Paul was there. And that's hopefully an ongoing project that you know, we can collaborate on, which is looking like a lot of fun. So Vanessa, any comments or questions from you?
It's sounding like what I need, because I put down last year on my PDR that I was interested in CMALT, and nothing much happened. So I think this year, by joining this community, I think that will be a bit of a push for me to really get going and make sure that I get it done this year. So
yeah, and I think that's part of the key, is just having that support, because you know, as I said, there's not a lot of people with CMALT accreditation worldwide, and having done the CMOOC last year for the first time as a sort of prototype, there's probably about 6 people that I know of, half to 3/4 done the CMALT portfolio, but just haven't got around time to finish it yet. So by doing it again, you know, hopefully they will actually get there. And you know, people like Paul and stuff like that, and Shingai, etc., started their portfolios. So I hope that this gives them more experience to put into them, and you know, eventually actually submit and get that accreditation. So it is a process, and it is a fair amount of you know, work in that portfolio, but hopefully this is one of the steps towards that for you.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Okay, well, I don't really want to take up too much of your time. Is there any other questions? You know, Shep, you're probably one of the newest people to this idea.
Yeah. I'm sort of just, no, I'm more for myself. It was about gathering what is the idea. And now understanding that it's a community really of building, I suppose, sharing a platform to share ideas, but also hugely about building my own personal portfolio of work, which is actually something that I haven't spent too much time thinking about, but I definitely want to and need to do it. So yeah, I suppose you know, within a certain everyone's probably the same as we go through time as educators. We do bring together a whole lot of stuff, but we don't really collaborate it in one space, you know, well, in one unique space, I suppose, as a showcase, like you're saying. So it definitely interests me. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Having coming in, not knowing anything, and hearing what you've got to say, and other people, I'm like, yeah, okay, it's definitely sparking my attention for sure. Yeah.
So we'll certainly go over some ideas that I think will be really helpful for you in building your own online profile and professional networks. But yeah, as I say, this is part of a journey, a process, and we don't expect that many people will get to the end after just 7 weeks. But hopefully people will know where to go from there, and we'll build on that. So thank you, everyone. Oh, sorry, Juanita.
My favorite thing is that you have a few rounds at it, because that was when you first told us that someone was their 3rd time, or this, it takes the pressure off. So then you're building it as you go, and I think that's brilliant. Yeah,
so there will be a few of those people joining us. They were just busy today, so you know, like Amanda and Vikal, who've been on this journey for quite a while now, but they're getting closer and closer to the finish line. But what they bring is experience to be able to share as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, hey, thanks a lot, guys. I'm going to stop the broadcast now, and that will get archived to YouTube, and I'll put the link into the Google Plus community. So, Paul, if you want to show those who haven't signed up, if they are actually interested in signing up, how to go through that, and you know, just make the profiles they need on Twitter and WordPress and Google Plus. That would be fantastic. And we aim to get underway next week. So next week we'll have a hangout, probably again on Friday, because it generally tends to be sort of, you know, Research Friday. and people tend to be slightly freer. And during the week, we'll be active on Twitter and the Google Plus community, and hopefully Juanita will be sharing something really cool next week. I'm picking on Juanita. I know she can handle it. Hey, thanks team. Catch up next week. Thanks. Bye, guys.